you're gonna be terrible the first 300 times, right? And what I'm hearing from you is there was a moment where you realized, well, hold on a second. Instead of worrying about me, let me start being proactive about delivering the kind of experience that they would remember. I love magic. You walk up to my table and you want to do a little bit of magic, I'm in. And I'm a great tipper. But I imagine that not everybody...
Yeah.
I imagine that not everybody you walked up to their table and said, hey, I'd like to perform a few, would you be interested?
Yes, I'll share some
of
that.
that. What was that like?
So, So there's, it would be surprising because you'd think that some days it really depended on the day, I guess, but some days people would just be like, no, and you'd get a lot of them and it'd be discouraging. But I just realized that I didn't want to have to be afraid of rejection because I knew it was going to happen. I don't know why, because I was actually, when I was in high school, believe it or not, I was fairly timid. I did not speak up. I was actually not very well known. It wasn't like I was in honors class or anything.
Okay, let me stop you there. Pretty confident now.
Yeah.
What got you there? You started out as timid. What would you say the catalyst was to you feeling more and more confident?
I think it was that I began to understand that oftentimes people worry the most about themselves, and that people weren't as worried about what I was doing, and that I could actually focus in on what people would remember about me. When I do magic, I actually try to organize it in a way to make sure they remember certain points over other ones.
Now, here's what I'm gonna tell you. His person, like how he's talking to you, is not any, we've had several conversations now, is not any different than the conversations that we've had, right? In other words, his persona, like he's not putting on some persona, it's him. This is Taylor. If you went to lunch with Taylor after this, or you had a conversation with him on the phone, this is him. But what I noticed about what you said is, like, we're always encouraging each other as we do these videos, as we build our skills, like, get over yourself. You're gonna be terrible the first 300 times, right? And what I'm hearing from you is there was a moment where you realized, well, hold on a second. Instead of worrying about me, let me start being proactive about delivering the kind of experience that they would remember. Am I saying that right?
Yes, exactly.
And then what did that do for your confidence the more you started being proactive about managing the experience? Did it grow?
Yeah, I think one of the big things that I realized was I didn't have to necessarily be afraid of failing. Because there becomes a point, because when you do it a lot, so I would go out, and I even did this for a while here in Coeur d'Alene, I'd go out on the side of the street, I just do magic on the street, okay? And you'd be surprised. I mean, if it's the right time of day, you can actually make pretty good money from tips. I probably made about $15 to $20 an hour a few times when I was out there for about 4 hours at a time. So, that's reasonable.
Just
for
practicing your craft.
Tips. Yeah, I just stand there and I just do it. It was the volume of practice, because originally when, I didn't have much structure. At some point I realized that in reality, structure and organization of how you do things and process is fundamentally one of the most important things. And you can only figure out something that works for yourself in your situation. And the best way is to put yourself in a situation where you can find the structure, where it comes to you. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And when I was out on the street, man, I just started to realize that certain tricks worked better for certain things. And people would tell me jokes or things related to it. I'd be like, oh, I'm gonna use that in my next show. You could just learn from it.